This One's Wife, the row over Sussex. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Many of you in the United Kingdom and some of you from outside of Blighty will be aware that the county of Sussex is an area within south-east England. Historically, it used to be a kingdom, and it comes from the term South Saxons. It later became a county, and it now includes the ceremonial counties of East Sussex and West Sussex. Prince Harry was given the title Duke of Sussex by the late Queen Elizabeth II. The Duke of Sussex is a substantive title, and it's an hereditary title of a specific rank of nobility in the British royal family. It's been created twice. It was first created in 1801, yet the title lapsed in 1843, and then it was revived when Queen Elizabeth II granted it to Prince Harry on the 19th of May 2018, just before his marriage to this one's wife, who then became the Duchess of Sussex. Back in 1801, it was bestowed upon Prince Augustus Frederick, who was the sixth son of King George III. But now the Prince of Pink Pancakes has that title, and by marriage, this one's wife has become the Duchess of Sussex. Something, as I've explained to you previously, a narcissist revels in, because she can triangulate people with that title. We have seen repeated hypocrisy on her part, as she is meant to be a representative of the people of Sussex, but I think they've been there once. I should imagine that many people from Sussex would rather they weren't associated with their county, and furthermore, this one's wife loves having the title, even though it was granted to her by her family, that she no longer wants to have anything to do with them. Again, demonstrating the hypocrisy of this particular narcissist. She is known by me, of course, as this one's wife, but if I break convention for a moment, her full name is Rachel Meghan Markle, and then she married Prince Harry, which meant that she would take his last name. But as you're aware, just recently, she decided that she wanted to be known as this one's wife Sussex, and upbraided Mindy Kaling for using the surname Markle and saying, I'm actually this one's wife Sussex now, and that's what you shall call me. Not only was her behaviour towards Mindy Kaling rather unpleasant in the way that she talked about it, but it demonstrated the haughtiness of this particular narcissist in deciding that she wanted to upbraid somebody in that manner in a show that would then be broadcast, all because she's decided that she's going to reinvent herself by being called Sussex. This has generated something of a stir, with people criticising her for this on the basis that it isn't actually her surname, that the surname she has taken on marrying Harry is Mountbatten Windsor. But once again, this not particularly bright narcissist and somebody who didn't bother to understand the conventions and traditions of the family that she was marrying into, decides, I want you to call me this one's wife, Sussex. There's some suggestion that she's clinging onto this title not just because it makes her sound good by virtue of being a duchess, something, of course, which the country from which she comes has no real truck for, but also because there might be the whiff of divorce in the air, and that she's trying to cause people to call her by that name so that she can cling on to the title, that she becomes known as this one's wife Sussex rather than this one's wife Markle. And in the circumstances, this means that she ought to be able to keep hold of the title. As ever, This One's Wife is alive to the criticism because she spends much of her time not actually creating a lifestyle brand, but rather weeing in the garden and filming it, and then spending time looking through social media and the media to read what is being written about her. And this has invariably resulted in her responding through the auspices of certain publications, and this time it's the New York Times. It asks, wait, what is this one's wife's last name? Gina Chirolsis writes, in Romeo and Juliet, the star-crossed heroine asks, what's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. People far less infatuated have wrestled with this concept for hundreds of years. How much should a name signify? And does it actually affect what or who a person is? This One's Wife, Duchess of Sussex, would like a word. In her new Netflix series, the Duchess, who is married to Prince Harry, told the actress Mindy Kaling that her last name was Sussex, correcting Miss Kaling, who had referred to her by a more familiar name, This One's Wife. It's so funny, too, that you keep saying This One's Wife, This One's Wife said in the second episode of the series. You know I'm Sussex now. This One's Wife cited the importance of sharing a last name with her children. I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me, but it just means so much to go, this is our family name, our little family name, she said. Miss Kaling, who initially seemed surprised, replied, well, now I know and I love it, again demonstrating the toadying nature of the non-intimate secondary sources that were paraded for this useless show. It's understandable that This One's Wife would want people to use the name that she and Prince Harry have chosen as their family name, and which appears on their passports, according to a person with knowledge of the matter. But as with most This One's Wife-related news, the clip quickly made waves online as people took to social media to criticise her. Some commenters thought she was being pretentious, and others called her out over a belief that she had seemingly confused her royal house with the family's surname. There was similar confusion over how to refer to the Duchess after she and Prince Harry announced in 2020 that they would step back from their official royal duties and move to the United States. 2 days after the new series premiered, during an appearance on The View, Miss Kaling said that she had a great time on the show, despite critics who felt like This One's Wife had behaved in a passive-aggressive way towards her. The debate over This One's Wife's name, however, continued. She's either totally oblivious to what her actual name is, she doesn't understand it, or she's lying, Hilary Fordwich, a royal family expert, said in a telephone interview. Miss Fordwich explained that while it isn't new for a member of the royal family to choose to go by their birth titles, Prince Harry went by Harry Wales during his time in the British Army, that doesn't usually make it their family name. By established protocol, he can use Harry Sussex, which I've never heard him use, she said. She could use Meghan Sussex, but it's not their surname. This was the issue in that Netflix clip. However, Rachel Bowie, the royals editor for the lifestyle website Pure Wow, didn't think what This One's Wife said was problematic at all, adding that it's totally within royal protocol. Even though Archie and Lily were christened Mountbatten Windsor, Harry and This One's Wife are borrowing Sussex from their title to make up their last name, Ms. Bowie, who was previously the co-host of the Royal Obsessed podcast, said in a phone interview. So, who ought to we rely upon? A royal family expert who explains that she's actually oblivious to what her actual name is, or she doesn't understand, or she's lying, and that by established protocol she could choose to use Meghan Sussex, but it's still not their surname, or somebody that runs a podcast called Pure Wow. I think I know where I would go to with regard to the expertise. Having pointed this out, opinions have continued to roll in, even from relatives of Harry and This One's Wife. Lord Ivor Mountbatten, a cousin of King Charles III, and a reality television star on The Traitors, claimed This One's Wife had been wrong about her own surname in an interview he gave to Town and Country, saying the family's surname should be Mountbatten Windsor. Her children are called Archie and Lilibet Mountbatten Windsor. They're not called Archie and Lilibet Sussex, because Sussex is a title. And Thomas Markle, this one's wife's estranged father, complained to the Daily Mail on Saturday about her decision to no longer use the name Markle, despite the fact that it's still fairly common for a woman to adopt her husband's name after getting married. Understanding the complexities of how to refer to the royal family requires a look at its evolving history regarding names. According to the official website for the British royal family, members of the royal family can be known by both the name of the royal house and by a surname, which are not always the same. It's uncommon for core members of the royal family to be referred to by a surname at all. Members of the royal family had no surname at all before 1917 and were referred to only by the name of the house or dynasty they belonged to. That year, King George V adopted Windsor as the name of the house and surname of his family. In 1960, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Harry's grandparents, altered the name to distinguish their direct descendants from the rest of the extended royal family, making their new surname Mountbatten Windsor. For the most part, members of the royal family who are entitled to the style and dignity of HRH Prince or Princess do not need a surname, but if at any time any of them do need a surname, such as upon marriage, that surname is Mountbatten Windsor, the site explains. This one's wife now lives outside that structure, meaning those rules do not apply to her, something I'm sure she'll be pleased to know, narcissist that she is. So her family's choice to adopt Sussex as their legal surname will simply be added to the list of things she's either criticised or embraced for. So this article attempts to provide some clarification, but simply provides views from either side of the debate, but it's quite simply this. Her surname isn't Sussex, that's a title. Her surname is Mountbatten Windsor. And yet, it would appear that this is an attempt to try and clap back against her critics in that regard, suggesting that once again something that she does and says finds herself unduly criticised. But it's not undue criticism. After all, she's got it wrong. She's not got the surname Sussex. Her surname is Mountbatten Windsor. And yet again, we see the grandiosity of this narcissist, whereby she not only gets it wrong, but she uses this from a point of view of grandiosity to say, I am Sussex, and to upbraid Mindy Kaling, and quite possibly, as I alluded to earlier in this video, at the start of attempting to be known by this name so that she can try and retain the title, once again demonstrating her hypocrisy of wanting to use something given to her by a family that she despises. As is always the case when it comes to this one's wife, she invariably gets things wrong, but she doesn't care, because driven by her narcissistic sense of entitlement, she continues forging a path, causing controversy, and behaving as she sees fit, even when it's pointed out by experts that she is wrong. What do you think? Do you think that she ought to be known as Meghan Sussex now? Or do you think we should just stick with this one's wife? What do you think are her motivations for attempting to use Sussex? Was it simply an opportunity to upbraid Mindy Kaling? Or was this a launch, if you will, of using Sussex as a surname because she wants to cling on to the title? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.